Because what do you mean that he was left in another country to die? So apparently Jesus was on a business trip with J-Lo's team in Dubai. Now people are saying, is she the reason for his death? And the reason is because it's come to light that J-Lo and her team left him in Dubai at the hospital.
Newly surfaced photos capture Jennifer Lopez and Diddy in a major argument at the 2000 VMAs after party, the same night he's now accused a 13-year-old girl.
Check it out. Can I rock with you to something? I want to dedicate a song to you. Check it out.
Which one? Which one?
Nah, you gotta just get ready. You good?
Look at that beard.
You like the beard? You like?
You don't like that.
You guys get out of control.
Do you have any comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Go back up, look. Don't lean.
So J-Lo's hairstylist, Jesus Guerrero, just died under mysterious circumstances during a business trip with her. And now this story is getting crazier by the minute, with some reports tying Jesus' sudden passing to those rumors about J-Lo being Diddy's accomplice and trying to cover her tracks. Celebrity hairstylist Jesus Guerrero, who worked with J-Lo for years, has tragically passed away at just 34 years old, and the details surrounding his death are very sketchy. Reports are saying that Jesus died from pneumonia after allegedly being stranded in Dubai, just days after J-Lo left the city after performing at the Burj Azizi launch event.
That was gonna happen to me. But now I realize love is something very different. Love is keeping your word. Love is honoring your commitments. Love is kindness and consideration and consistency.
Now, we all know that pneumonia has been linked to some highly suspicious deaths in Hollywood, especially when it comes to people tied to Diddy. So, of course, fans are coming up with all kinds of theories about what really happened to Jesus. But just when you thought things couldn't get any shadier, some bombshell photos surfaced showing J-Lo and Diddy partying together on the same night Diddy allegedly attacked one of his youngest victims. And now we're hearing that allegedly the feds have been watching J-Lo this whole time, and sources close to the case are saying the authorities want to question J-Lo about her ties to Diddy. However, she's reportedly refusing to cooperate. Not only that, but some insiders are now hinting that J-Lo is planning to flee the US before Diddy's trial starts in May, and apparently her plan is to lay low and wait for everything to blow over before she makes any public moves. So what's really going on here? Is J-Lo hiding something? What happened to her hairstylist? And why hasn't she spoken out about his death? Let's break it all down.
And the reason is because it's come to light that J-Lo and her team left him in Dubai at the hospital struggling with pneumonia. So how is it possible that you're in a different country, let's say even with friends, but with J-Lo's team at this point, and you end up in the hospital and they just leave?
Celebrity hairstylist Jesus Guerrero's shocking death has sent shockwaves throughout Hollywood. And now even mainstream media is side-eyeing J-Lo's reaction because Jesus was in Dubai with J-Lo's team, and apparently he fell ill while J-Lo was still there. However, J-Lo and the rest of her team packed their bags and left Jesus. And just days later, Jesus sadly died from pneumonia at just 34 years of age. Now, fans are already raising eyebrows because pneumonia seems to come up way too often in suspicious Hollywood deaths. From Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, to Brittany Murphy, and even Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobbi Kristina. And even if this is a reach, fans are saying it's still bizarre how J-Lo's whole team just abandoned Jesus and left him alone in a foreign country when they knew he was seriously sick. One fan commented, "You don't just get pneumonia overnight," so he had been sick for at least a few days. She had him traveling and doing her hair while sick, and Dubai has world-class healthcare and they couldn't treat him? And another person took it a step further, saying he probably knew something because like Kim Porter and other people who were involved with Diddy who died from pneumonia, and J-Lo was involved as well at some point, and it's weird. Meanwhile, Page Six has reached out to J-Lo's rep for comment about Jesus' passing and final days. However, they're refusing to talk. Now, speaking of J-Lo's ties to Diddy, it was recently reported that J-Lo was partying with Diddy on the same night he allegedly victimized a 13-year-old girl. Daily Mail obtained photos showing Diddy and J-Lo seemingly having an intense conversation at an after-party at the 2000 MTV VMAs. The same night, Diddy was involved in an alleged incident described in a lawsuit by one of Diddy's accusers. So according to the lawsuit, Diddy and another celebrity raped a young girl that night, while another unnamed female celebrity watched. Now, to be clear, there's no indication anywhere in the lawsuit that this female celebrity is J-Lo. However, that hasn't stopped fans from side-eyeing her. So now fans are starting to wonder if there's a reason for J-Lo's silence, and some insiders are saying J-Lo might already be on the Fed's radar, which means her lawyer is probably telling her to keep her mouth shut. But what do we really know about J-Lo's alleged involvement in Diddy's criminal enterprise? Well, let's start with that lawsuit producer Lil Rod filed against Diddy last year. So maybe you missed this, but Lil Rod later updated his lawsuit and claimed that Diddy admitted to being involved in that 1999 nightclub shooting and even bragged that J-Lo was the one who handed him the gun.
An officer testified that everyone in the SUV was ordered to put their hands on the vehicle, but Lopez walked away, saying she was going home. As she was being detained, a gun was discovered in the vehicle. At that point, a sergeant on the scene ordered everyone who was in the vehicle under arrest. The officer quotes Lopez as saying, "It's not my gun."
Now, J-Lo has never talked about the nightclub shooting in public, and after she split from Diddy, she worked overtime to clean up her image. In fact, as soon as she left Diddy in 2001, she started dating Ben Affleck, and she stayed completely silent about the shooting incident ever since. And whenever reporters tried to bring up Diddy, it was clear J-Lo wanted to erase that part of her past like it never happened.
Access Hollywood caught up with Diddy recently, who had very nice things to say about you and your judging on the show. He thinks you're doing a great job. He says, let me find the quote, the way she's handled it, she's been such a compassionate person, it made me cry like twice. And then he's gonna be a mentor on the show. So he said he's gonna be the one to show the kids how to do it.
Right.
Do you have any advice for him to come on?
No, I mean, he knows what he's doing. I don't have really anything. No advice for him.
No advice for him. Anything to say about the kind words?
It's nice. It's sweet.
However, it looks like J-Lo's past with Diddy is coming back to bite her. So Lil Rod recently updated his lawsuit and dropped some wild claims, saying that Diddy admitted to being behind the nightclub shooting and let Shine take the fall. But that's not all. According to Lil Rod, Diddy bragged in front of him that J-Lo carried the firearm into the club for him and passed him the gun after he got into an altercation with another individual. And to make things even messier, one of the shooting victims, Netanya Rubin, is speaking out, and she's claiming that Diddy and J-Lo have been trying to silence her for the past 25 years. Back in March 2024, Netanya went viral after she hopped on IG to talk about Lil Rod's lawsuit, and she once again made it clear that Diddy was the one who shot her in the face. Netanya also pointed out that Cassie revealed in her lawsuit that Diddy forced her to carry a gun in her purse. And according to Netanya, this isn't new behavior. Apparently, Diddy's been doing this since the 90s. And now people are wondering how deep J-Lo was in all of this.
She made mention that Puffy made her carry his guns into nightclubs and wherever they went. And he threatened her to make her feel like she had to do so. And while there were lots of things of importance, that stood out to me, and I'm going to tell you why. In this lawsuit with the producer Lil Rod, they were both SA'd by him and threatened and physically harmed. But in this lawsuit, he appears to be a very young producer to me. But he said something very specific. As a means of threatening him, Puffy said, "That's why I shot up the club in New York back in 1999 and let Shine take the fall for it." Let me tell you why that's of utmost importance to me. Because I am the woman who he shot in the face in that December 27th, 1999, Club New York shooting.
But Netanya didn't stop there. Over the past few months, she's been speaking out on news shows and social media, sharing her story and demanding the justice she deserves. She even appeared on News Nation, where she admitted that being in the spotlight now could put her life in danger, and said that if anything suspicious happens to her, it better be fully investigated.
It is my assertion wholeheartedly that Mr. Combs was inappropriately charged originally. His charges should have mirrored that of Mr. Jamal Shine Barrow. He should have been charged with attempted murder, a reckless endangerment, criminal possession of a weapon, and firing that weapon in an open environment. Mr. Combs did not have accountability for what he did. I physically who better to tell you what happened than the person who got shot smack dab in between my eyes? We know the country we live in. Unfortunately, those who have the money can oftentimes get away with their crimes. Unfortunately, and those who don't have the same social ranking are overlooked. And that's what has happened. By the grace of God, God saw fit to keep me whole, keep my mind sane and functioning, and keep me alive for such a time as this. And make no mistake, the gravity of the danger and the peril that I face and that I'm exposed to for having my say now, for what was done to me 24 years ago, is not lost on me. But let me make clear beyond a shadow of a doubt, I am not now, nor have I ever been suicidal. I love life, and I am grateful that God spared my life back on that fateful day on December 27th, 1999. I'm a living miracle.
Yeah, you are
And
clearly
so,
a very...
anything,
Sorry to interrupt you, but you are a very strong woman. I mean, that is very clear. And you have done your research, and you deserve to have your voice heard, which is one of the reasons.
And I think it's important for me to say I'm a healthy woman. I live a simple, quiet, risk-averse life. So if I should meet with an untimely demise, it would require and be worthy of deep investigation. I understand the peril of what I am exposing my life to. If God
it's disturbing to hear you say that. I mean, but
to have my say, it's disturbing for me to think it and feel it. But I am healthy. I don't have any intentions of going anywhere. I'm grateful that God spared me, and I plan to live out my life to see my children's lives actualized and realized.
But what about J-Lo? Does Netanya really believe J-Lo was involved in the shooting? Well, even though J-Lo denies having any part in it, Netanya said she's hoping that Diddy and everyone else who was arrested that night in '99 will finally face justice. Netanya said, "When I was fighting for my life on an operating table in St. Vincent's Hospital for the doctors to remove the bullet,
I'm quite sure they heading for a divorce. Because, that's a man who had a good life. Great parents, don't spend a lot of money, ain't tripping out paparazzi. He living his life. He got his own team. She done brought all the extra that motherfucker. He won out. He stayed married to J-Lo, he'd be broke. Instead of just doing movies, he'd be doing Yum Yum Donuts commercials. Next thing he'd be doing these Jack in the Box commercials.
But just when you thought you'd heard everything about J-Lo, her ex-husband, Ohani Noah, stepped in and dropped some disturbing details from her past.
Jennifer Lopez, how wonderful. And congratulations, you just got married.
Yes, I just got married. Been married a month and 4 days.
How long did you two know each other?
For a year. It's enough. I didn't need much convincing. Beautiful. Thank you.
Back in 1997, when J-Lo was just starting to make waves in Hollywood with her breakout role in Selena, she married her first husband, Cuban actor and producer Ohani Noah. But their marriage didn't last long. Just 11 months later, they went their separate ways. But Ohani wasn't going to just disappear quietly. He had plans to write a tell-all book about their relationship. However, J-Lo wasn't having it, and she sued him and won. However, Ohani refused to be silenced, and he later revealed that the main reason for their split was J-Lo sneaking around with Diddy while they were still married. Ohani told Daily Mail, "I rang Jen and asked why she was going out with Diddy on dates, and she said, 'It's just business. This is what I'm being told I have to do.' I was jealous and would scream, 'But you are married.'" Well, it turned out Ohani was right to be suspicious, because as soon as J-Lo divorced Ohani, she and Diddy went public with their romance.
I had my own sparkles, you know what I'm saying? You look at Honey, my sparkles were just flying all off me. She was married at the time, so I was in my own relationship, so I had to have self-control. And then we just became friends. I was a dancer, she was a dancer. I was ambitious, she was ambitious. I was a workaholic, she was a workaholic. At first, all of those things was working in our benefit. Then we had this rehearsal where we had to hold each other like this, we was gonna do some salsa dancing. And then, so I'm holding like this. Then I look up and I look into her eyes, and I just fell in love from right then and there. It was just the first time I fell in love, love at first sight.
He was larger than life, but at first I didn't like him at all. I didn't. I thought he was ick. I didn't like him because, Sean and I were very different that way. I was very family oriented, and that's how I was raised. Once I got to know him, and we became friends first, and then we developed this bond. We both understood where we were at that time in our lives, and we both knew nobody else understood exactly how we felt. So in that way, we kind of bonded.
But just when J-Lo thought Ohani was done spilling her tea, he came back into the spotlight after J-Lo and Ben Affleck tied the knot in 2022. After J-Lo went on record saying she knows for a fact Ben is the one, Ohani told Daily Mail that J-Lo once told him he was her forever guy too. And in Ohani's words, that was 3 husbands and 5 engagements ago. But that's not all. Ohani also spilled that after J-Lo started secretly seeing Diddy, her team told him to fake it for the cameras. They even flew to Chicago to film an interview with Oprah where they talked about their marriage, even though things were falling apart behind the scenes. Oprah knew we were having problems, Ohani said. I was sitting in the audience and thought Oprah would come to me because we had talked about it beforehand. Oprah said to Jen, I hear you guys are having problems. With that beautiful face and that beautiful smile, Jen said, no, everything is amazing. But that's not even the wildest thing Ohani said about J-Lo. An old interview just popped up where Ohani's ex hinted that J-Lo uses witchcraft and love spells to get what she wants. Yeah, you heard that right. Actual witchcraft. Claudia Vasquez, who dated Ohani after J-Lo, told Spanish media that J-Lo practices Santeria and allegedly used spells to land her role as Selena. I've been told she does the worst. Frightening stuff, Claudia said. Jennifer has a godmother in Miami, which I've never met, but Ohani knows her, and she calls this woman to tell her, do this to this person, put up a black candle, etc., etc. She's done spells on all her boyfriends. It's a typical thing for anybody involved in Santeria, but even with all that, she always ends up leaving them. And then Claudia added that J-Lo also ordered the use of Santeria to nab the lead role in Selena over Salma Hayek. So as you can see, all types of wild stories are coming out about J-Lo's rise to fame. And now insiders are saying she's in full-on panic mode because Diddy's trial is just 2 months away. And apparently, the feds have a lot of questions for J-Lo about what she saw and knows from her time with Diddy. But what's your take on all this? Should J-Lo be forced to testify in the Diddy trial? Do you think she's hiding more than she's letting on? And what about her stylist's sudden death? Are fans pushing it with the conspiracy theories, or do you agree there's something sketchy about his passing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and stick around for this next video.